And for this one we have got a 2007 Gibson Les Paul Studio in wine red with gold hardware. So let's have a quick listen to it and then I shall tell you what I can. So let's go. And pick up starting with the 498T in the bridge. Oh, no delay. Right, so in the noisy or distorted setting, but you may have gathered that into the central position. And on to the 490R in the neck. Lovely stuff. Let's see how it cleans up. Starting again with the 490 in the neck, popping out about 13 plus this one. Into the centre. and onto the 490 in the neck. Lovely, let's have a jolly good look round. 2007 Gibson Les Paul Studio in wine red. It's a popular colour and it's the one with the nice gold hardware, which is slightly tarnished. And we will have a word about buying, like we do at the end, and values. So the construction is what we've come to expect from these. You've got a veneer that has the silk-screened logo and Les Paul signature on. The truss rod cover tells you it's a studio, and you can see the veneer there, the black bit at the top, that black line there, that's where that gets stuck on. Around the back we've got Gibson Deluxe Vintage Style Green Key tuners, and the D is slightly kinky. Not enough to want to replace it. It works absolutely perfectly fine, but if any of the tuners get it, it's always going to be the D or the G. They're always the ones that go. So, because of course they're nearest to the top, and if it wobbles off the stand or against a wall or something, you know. Anyway, we've got a mahogany neck mated into a mahogany body. We're always looking in this area for any damage, and also around the neck heel body joint. And so we've got a rosewood fretboard on top of the mahogany neck, 22 medium jumbo frets, and you've got the trapezoid acrylic inlays on the rosewood fretboard. Toggle switch where you'd expect it, that takes you from one place to the other, and you've got a 490R in the neck, which is I think popping out 7.6, and the 498T is popping out just over 13, which is actually at the slightly lower end of the tolerances. The 490s are usually somewhere between 7.5 and 8.5, and the 498s, I've seen them anywhere between 12.5 and 14.5, depending on the wind, depending on the material. And it's like I say, there are no two guitars ever exactly alike. This one, for a few identification purposes, let me do that, there's a few nibbles around the headstock and in other places too. And you'll note that on this one, the serial number is very, very faint indeed, and that is quite typical for Gibson. Almost a trademark, you might say. So yes, the gold hardware is tarnished in the places where you would expect to see it tarnished. This is from palm sweat, from string palm muting, string damping, and they usually go here as well. It's been used but not abused. There's a few little nibbles around it here and there. Oh look, you've got a matching exhaust port flange. So 2 volumes up, 2 tones down, scratch plate. I do like a scratch plate, and yeah, it's all matching, isn't it? You've got all the gold stuff going on everywhere. Very nice indeed. I like the wine red around the back. Of course, we've got the cavity control plates. This one for the toggle switch, and of course this one for the. But I think that the pots are mounted on one of those plates that you get. So have a good look around this, and you can see, in fact, can't you, on this one, you can see the lighter grain colour here, because it's a bit of a trans colour, isn't it, the wine red? And you can see where the maple cap's gone on. Of course, it's only quite thin here, probably what, 1/8 of an inch or something like that, and they're carved, so you always get this bellied finish, and it will be about 1/2 inch thick in the middle, and you might be able to see that on the photos of its inside, because I always take whenever I'm doing a restring and a setup, I always take the pickups out to make sure they're the right ones, measure the values. A quick look inside the cavity where the pickups are will always, not always, but usually there'll be like a Sharpie mark that tells you what the colour is and what the designation is. So this one, I think this one says STWR for Studio Wine Red. And yeah, so certainly people, when they're selling these, you know, in the usual places, can be quite economical with the truth. And I have no doubt that the guy who bought this will not have known about the slightly kinky. I mean, it's nothing, it doesn't affect anything, but it should be mentioned. Anything should be mentioned that's going on with them. So yeah, just, you know, be very, very careful about what you buy. Value wise for these, I've just had a look on eBay now. There's one in GAK, same year, same spec, similar condition, and they want, is it £8.99 or £9.99? I think it might be £9.99. And certainly I've seen another one, the same for £7.50. So that's quite a big gap there between £7.50 and £1,000. But of course, price always depends upon originality, condition, and whether the vendor is prepared to post it or not, because that often has a few quid on. And what have eBay done to us now? Certainly it's free to sell, but now if you're buying, you've got to pay a buyer's premium. That includes, and this is rubbish, IMO, that says it includes payment protection insurance. Well, if anything was ever not right on eBay, you'd just get your money back anyway. So it had its own built-in payment protection, if you like, in that regard. So anyway, yes, very, very nice thing indeed. Lovely thing. Can't remember what it weighs, but you will see the weight back here. It doesn't feel very heavy, this one, I'll be honest with you. It feels sub £8, I'd say, this one. So this must have been the start of the, what did they do it in 2004, the start of the 9-hole weight relief. But this one does not weigh a ton at all. You'd wear that for a good few hours and it won't bother you. Right, so with all of that said, I shall thank you all ever so much for tuning in as always, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Adios amigos. Ta-ra.